This is Amanda Tourtellot's first video submission for the massage therapy certification. This is Salsa. She is a 9-year-old thoroughbred mare, mainly used as a brood mare. We're going to evaluate her movement. The walk seems to be nice and forward, head swinging. She seems to be traveling pretty straight for an uneven terrain. Trotting away, she was nice and forward. Maybe a tiny bit of a stumble behind. I'm going to watch her trot toward us. A little reluctant to go forward. Again, it's a little uneven. Walk, the head seems a little stiff and up in the air. She seems to be tracking up normally at the walk. That was a little better going that direction. She seemed a little bit more free. And at the trot, again, we're pretty reluctant to go forward. Salsa did retire with a bowed tendon off the track, but that was a few years ago. And she's been sound. She's not currently in training. Hi, I am Amanda Tourtellot, and this is Salsa. This is my first video submission for my massage therapy program certification. Salsa is a 9-year-old thoroughbred mare. She is part of my brood mare herd. She has had 4 foals before, and she's currently open. She's not pregnant. She did not have a foal this year, so she's kind of been getting a little time off from that and just hanging out being a horse. During her movement evaluation, I noticed she was a little reluctant to go forward at the trot. She's not in training, and she's never really been asked to jog in hand, other than when we took her to inspections a few years ago. So I don't know if that was the cause, or if something maybe hind end. She seemed to walk fine with swing in her back and tracked up. So we'll check her over and see what we can find. This is just really to make sure she's comfortable. As she's not in training, she's just a brood mare. It's always good to make sure that they're in good health. Delivering and pregnancy is hard on them, so that's kind of why she's having some time off in between some foals, but we're hoping to breed her in the spring again and see what else we can get out of her. So I'm going to start with some effleurage strokes, check some pressure points. It looks like she has a bug bite here on her neck. I don't feel a tick, but it's raised. So that's one thing. So this is just to warm up the muscles, see if she reacts to anything. And top of her neck does feel a little tight where that little bubble is. Again, it's not a tick. She might have gotten bit by something, but neck does feel a little tight, so we'll check that. Salsa is due for a hoof trim, and she retired off the track with a bowed tendon on her left front. She's been completely sound from it. Got some licking and chewing going on. She's resting one of her back feet. She does get a little salty with her hind end. We were breeding her 1 year and she did kick out at the vet. She's never done it with me, but I'm gonna go in front of her because I don't want to upset her. So we're going to do the effleurage strokes on the other side. Warm up these muscles. See if I can feel any pressure points that she reacts to. She's twitching a little bit when I get up by the withers. And this is the leg she had the bow on. I did brush her down before I started. She's a little dirty, but that's okay. I just pulled her in to do her eval. And we're going to be careful with the hind end. Just because she doesn't love being back there. There are some flies. So she's not in work, but I'm still going to check her TMJ. We'll go into some other strokes. She's not loving that. Do some kneading. Get into the actual massage a little bit more. Eating at a crest. She's definitely tight up by her pole in the crest of her neck where that bubble is. Big sigh, licking and chewing. So that must feel good. Yeah, she's very tight actually up here. On right side of neck. Effleurage, get into some kneading, wringing. Well, that feels a little better. She's starting to relax her neck. And her head is down a little bit more. And it feels a little bit more supple. I think she'll need a couple sessions on this neck to really get it to loosen up, but this is a good start. Shoulder feels great. Muscles don't feel tight. Do a little bit of picking up, pinching, rolling. Down her back and across the rib cage. We'll do some effleurage strokes, some cupping. Sometimes with broodmares, their undercarriage muscles can start to go with the more foals they carry. So she's pretty good about me like milk testing her when she's pregnant, so she's really good about being underneath her from all of her babies. Her back feels good. She is cocking that back leg. Her little lower lip is twitching. Do some clapping on the hind end muscles. Cupping. Yeah, her hind end feels better than I thought it was. While I'm on this side, I'm going to just pick up her feet. Stretch. She's got good range of motion in both of those feet. Again, her pole is still tight. way down her neck is still very tight on this side as well. So we're going to do some kneading, some wringing. Yeah, super tight right there. She reacted to that. Core muscles seem good. So now that I got my hands on her, I feel like her reluctantness to go forward is from the stiffness in the neck. So she is licking and chewing in that tight spot, so that must feel good. Okay. A little antsy, so we'll go down to the shoulder for a minute. Shoulder muscle feels good. Just twitching a little bit. I don't know if it's the buggies. Could be. Over the rib cage, you like to do the cupping with lighter pressure on that and the spine. My dogs are barking at the cat. Any bony structure, you want to use lighter pressure. And the cupping is really good for these areas. And the effleurage strokes. Her booty's jiggling. big stretch. She's doing that all on her own. That was good. Girl. Do her tail as well, but she, like I said before, she's not great about her hind end, so I'm not going to do that on this horse. I don't want to be directly behind her. So I'm going to go back to her right side, and we're just going to finish cooling down the muscles with some more effleurage strokes, checking our stress points again, and see if there's any improvement. There are some bugs. She's better about me being up by her pole. She's not as reactive. Again, she's still a little tight up in that neck, in the crest area. So I'm going to make a note in her file that I'm going to revisit her again for that area. I think it's going to need a couple sessions to help her out. We got licking and chewing going on. So this is just to cool down the muscles. Check everything out. Get a little sigh. Her lip is starting to droop. Yeah, her hind end feels good. Yeah, bird mares need loving too, huh? Definitely better with the pole. Feels a lot better, and she's not as reactive to it. Alright, so that was Miss Salsa. Good girl. I just wanted to add some notes at the end of this session with Salsa, since my camera was facing forward and not on the side. I felt that the rhomboid was very tight. Atlas and C1 up by the pole was pretty tight initially, and then around C3, 4, up at that rhomboid at the crest of her neck was very tight on both sides. I'm going to recommend doing another session with her soon, and I'm going to add in some neck stretches and possibly tape that area as well. After my session, she did seem a lot more supple in that area, but that was my main concern during this session was that the whole crest rhomboid area was pretty tight. Her hind end muscles felt really good. Her shoulder felt okay. Seemed pretty supple. She had good range of motions in her legs and the joints. I didn't feel any deformities down there. So yeah, we're going to follow up with her and see how the next session is, if she's any more supple. Thank you.